Good evening, everybody. This is Kenny Lloyd from Houston, Texas, and I'd like to start off by saying Happy New Year to everyone. Listen, we have an incredible evening for you all. This is the first Hangout of the year, and we have a host of people that are going to be joining us on here that have some things they really want to share with you. I just want to take a moment to talk about what the theme for this year, what this year means to me. And I think that I've shared this theme with some people, and I think the people are adopting it. And last year, 2016 for us was the year of miracles. And we had some miracles happen. And I think that one of the biggest miracles that happened for us, honestly, is that not only did we survive the year, we thrived through the year. Of course, you always have, you had some people we lost, but we had people that we gained. And I'm seeing over the holidays, the first of the year is a time where a lot of people begin to launch their businesses, and a lot of people come on board, and they really want to come on quietly, discreetly, in preparation for their big launch into the first of the year. And you're going to be seeing a lot of that. You're going to be witnessing some people from the industry that are very savvy, that are business people that have already come on board, and they're going to explode on the scene. And I'm so excited in anticipation of this. But not only people that are savvy, we have a lot of people that left last year that are coming back. We have people in droves that have been calling myself and calling John Licari, and that have been asking, what is it going to take for them to come back? And I've always said, one of the things I love about TLC is that TLC is a company of second chances. Second chances for people that are coming in, that have made mistakes in the industry. But we understand that even people that come in make mistakes and explore things, and things just don't always work out. So those who operated in decency and in the spirit of decency and order, we always it's like a revolving door. We allow people to come back. So you're going to see a lot of old family members come back, and I'm going to ask that we understand that some people did not leave under the best circumstances, but I'm going to ask everybody that as they come back, that we welcome them, that we be big enough to forgive them, because people make mistakes, but they've rectified it and they're back. So this is going to be a very explosive year. I want to give you a snapshot of what to really expect. Where we are as it pertains to TLC and as a team is that this is a year that we've had a lot of people, a lot of business people. I mean, and again, I use that word savvy, that are business people that have really been watching us. And there's another group that is still watching us. But we have a group of people that have been watching us for a long time, and they have. And every misconception that they've had of TLC has been corrected. They think because it's hard from the outside for people to really get us, because from the outside, it appears that we're a company with not a lot of structure. But I tell people that that's the biggest misconception. And the thing that I'm most proud about, that from a corporate standpoint, you never, ever want your competition. And believe me, I don't care what anybody says, in business, there's competition. You never want your competition to be able to figure you out. And that's what I love about us, is that because we are a spirit-based company, it's hard to put your finger on spirit. When you start telling people that, that you have to understand the spirit. There's a spirit amongst the people in TLC that have restored themselves, that are now elevating themselves. There's a spirit. People don't get that. You're going to hear a speaker this evening that came by my house, and I laugh about it, but this gentleman made a decision to join us, and you're going to see him this year as one of the top leaders, if not one of the top leaders in the company. But when he first came on board, he came to my house and spent several hours, and I was frustrated him for about 5 hours until he finally just relinquished and said, okay, man, I get it. It's a spirit. I mean, he asked me, Kenny, what is it about TLC? What is so significant about it? I said, hey, man, it's just a spirit. We have a spirit that people don't understand. What is a spirit, Kenny? Man, I can't tell you what spirit is because I can't see it. It's just something you believe. It's something you feel. What does it feel like? Hey man, look, I'm not, come on. But you know, we really got, because I'm serious, because I understood it. That's why it did not make me mad. You know, it didn't frustrate me because he was making a life decision. He's the head of his household. So because he was making a life decision, he was very serious about it. And I think for a moment, I think he thought that I was playing with him, but I think he finally got it. After about 7 hours, he finally got it, you know, and now he's over here and he's serving big times with his gifts that God has given him, you know. So I'm very pleased about that. This is going to be a miraculous year for us. Last year was a year of miracles, but this year is the year of growth. Okay. And I say the year of growth because even though we are in 2017, the things that we go through this year, because see, this year is a year of growth. Next year is going to be in a year of explosion. Okay. And I don't want to get into that now because some people really can't see that. I see it clearly. And because I see it, I understand the importance of us growing this year. And that's when I say growing, it starts with me, because I am by far a perfect person. I am by far a know-it-all. I know, but see, the difference is I know what I don't know. And the one thing that I worked on last year, and I had some lapses and I backslid, was the mental aspect of Kenny Lloyd as a leader. And I really had to work on the emotional side of me. And it's because I'm passionate, I'm competitive, but I'm sensitive too, because I'm human. And I am human, you know, and that's the part about TLC that I love too, is that the humanity of the company. I am human and I am very passionate about it, and I am sensitive, and I'm not too big to admit that. But I have to know that, knowing that I am sensitive and I have been sensitive thing, that I have to work on that. And it's a continual work because of the emotional side, because of the sensitivity. Sometimes it causes me to make emotional decisions, to view things and to perceive things in an emotionally viewed. And that's that. And every time I do it, I make a mistake. I miscalculate, or I look at things. I make a mistake in how I view it and the people that I'm looking at. You know, so I never look at it correctly. But you know what? I'm working on it. And every time I feel it coming on, I have what I call a conscious interrupt. Because I know when I know the feeling, I know what triggers it. I can feel the onset of it. And when you have a conscious interrupt, you can stop it. You can take a moment right before you know what's about to trigger it. But before whatever it is that triggers it puts his finger on the trigger, you grab that hand and you stop it. And that's what I've worked on. Mentally, we really have to get to the point where we get a little better with our emotions. I think that as I look at a lot of things that transpired in 2016, a lot of them were emotionally based, you know, and there were things that could have been done better on both sides. But, you know, this is a new year. And I think some of the things that we really have to work on is taking things personal. I'd like to personally challenge everybody, and I'm a part of this challenge people to really not take things personal, things that people say, because everybody is not in depth in the art of communication. Some people just speak what's on their mind, and some people do things. And you know what? A lot of things that happen are driven by the enemy, because, you know, the only people that could really touch you, get close to you, are people, and really hurt you, are the people close to you. And sometimes the enemy uses those people to do just that, to throw you off. That's how I know that there's going to be so many great things that are going to happen to us this year. Why? Because we had so many crazy things happen to us last year, but we endured, we survived, and still thrived, you know. And the people that built their businesses correctly, they took a hit, but they didn't take a major hit. But that's a part of business. You know, Jared Wilkins and I were talking this morning, and we were talking about the word leader. And I expressed to him that I really don't like the word leader, because what is a leader, really? When you really think about it, what is a leader? It's one of the most misunderstood, misrepresented words in network marketing. And I said that I'd really like to begin replacing that word with business person. Because at the end of the day, we're all business owners, whether you understand it or not. You are an owner of your business. And if you are really planting seeds and really believing in what you have, you will understand that when your business gets to a certain point, that it starts to evolve into a business. And if you don't start making business moves or thinking like a business person, I mean, you're going to have some difficulty. You're going to have some tax implications. I would strongly suggest that once you start getting to the point where you're earning $400 or $500 a week, $200 a week, that you should really, put your business into a business name, establish a business name. So now you're entitled to certain write-offs. And I'm not a CPA, so I'm not going to get deep into that, but you should seek counsel on that. We have to start running our businesses as CEOs of our business instead of waiting for people to make things happen for you. Instead of waiting for corporate to make things happen, I will share this with you. And everybody knows that I'm real. I heard some comments about Houston, and I heard some people say some things about the leadership in Houston. And the one thing I said back is that, when Greg and Lanika Scott and Erwin and Twyla Portis and Shantae and I came to TLC, we had somebody that, and I'm not going to mention the name, but they were here and they were the master distributor of the company and the so-called president, but they were the master distributor. And man, we were not happy with that leadership at all. I mean, we were not happy with their leadership. But the one thing that we refrained from was public condemnation. We refused to go on social media and express our displeasure with the person who was named leader. So what we made a conscious decision to do was to become that we sought. All right, we sought strong leadership, so we had to become those leaders, and we became the leaders of TLC at that time. We were the absolute leadership. Everything we did, we put things in place, and man, we fought battles, but we became the leadership. And I want everybody to understand that when you hit certain positions, executive director, regional director, it's your business. So we have to get out of a habit of looking to everyone else to save us, to enhance our business. We have to take some responsibility. Now, grant you, does Kenny Lloyd have some responsibility? I have a lot of responsibility, with people that are in this business, people that reach out to me that are very serious, and what is serious? Serious is, you got to understand first that when you have somebody that is your upline or upline 3 levels up, I'll give you an example. You take Stormy Wellington. Look, you got to know that Stormy is an executive ambassador now. Stormy probably has in excess of 50,000 people in her organization. If you have called Stormy Wellington 1 time or 2 times and you could not reach her, and because she didn't reach back to you, and you start, criticizing her leadership, and that's a mistake, because see, you have to understand that our responsibilities are much greater now than they were when we were trying to hit rank. When we were executive directors, and I can remember, and Greg will testify to this, that I remember a day when we knew everybody's name that hit director. I remember a day that we knew everybody's name that hit executive director, that it was a big thing. And Lord have mercy, when they hit regional director, we were popping firecrackers because it was big in our inception. Why was it big? Because it meant that not only were we elevating, but we were doing a good job at elevating other people. And that's why we celebrated that. But when we became nationals, and then all of a sudden, we couldn't recognize all of the names because so many people were hitting director that we couldn't call everybody. We couldn't call all of the executive directors anymore. And then it got to a point where we became ambassadors that we could not even call the regionals anymore. And then it became a point where I don't even know all the nationals anymore. And that is an indication of our elevation and our growth. You just can't touch everybody. So the one thing about it is that I used to call Jack, and I had difficulty reaching Jack in the beginning because we were unproven. Jack was busy. But you know what? Because I called Jack, what if I called Jack 2 times? And I will be honest with you. I'm going to be very honest. There was a time that I called Jack for about a week, and Jack did not return my call. And I got emotional. And I was telling Shantae, look, man, he told me he was going, and he's not this. And I need him. I need him directly. I don't want to talk to Rosa, and who does he think and man, we could go to another company. And I thank God for my wife, because my wife stood by me when I left the company and walked away from, I'm talking about like $65,000 a month, walked away, never complained, went to another company and said, it's not in my spirit. She never complained. But when I went to her about this one, talking about, man, I'm not fit wicked, she said, we? Who is we? Okay, she said, because you might go somewhere this time, but I'm not going anywhere. You go somewhere this time, you on your own, buddy. And you know what? She snapped me back in shape. And I love her for it, because that's the kind of partner that you want. But the point is, I think every day, what if I had let my emotions carry me and I made a decision because I didn't like what he did, or I felt that he felt like I was less than, or didn't treat me well? What if I had quit? When I think about how blessed my family is right now, and the assignment that I have, that I would have walked away from, man, I'd be wandering around in the desert like a nomad by myself. Okay, because Shantae would not have been with me on this one. So I say that 2017, the year of growth, we have to expand our mental horizons and not be led by our emotions, but be led by the fact that we know that we're human and people make mistakes. And we have to be led by communication, because when people have issues, it's important that we communicate with each other. There's some things that, from a leadership standpoint, man, this is going to be a year that we really, all of the leaders have made a commitment that we're one, and there's not going to be a lot of segregation. We're going to, with the events, there was a time that we had directors night. Whenever we do a 2-day event, we had directors night on a Friday night. But we understood that the directors and executives, you all are the lifeblood of the company. And so we're giving you a Friday night, when that was a mistake that we made, because now we understood. We're still learning too. So we learned that we made a mistake, and we're rectifying that mistake, because from this point on, Saturday night is you all's night. We're going to make sure that our directors, our executive directors, that our regionals, that you all are the future of the company. And we're going to make sure that you understand that. We're going to do the best job we can at training you all what training and sharing with everybody the responsibilities that you have on each level. And we're going to do a much better job at that. And I'm going to see to it, and everybody that you're going to hear from, all of the leadership, all during the holiday, we've had numerous calls and hangouts, and we've talked about that, and we're all committed to that. So this is going to be a great year for you all, because a lot of you all will be elevated. A lot of you all will learn what it is to be a leader. And I do know that the reason that people were sensitive and people misunderstood the roles of leaders and the responsibilities and the numerous people that they have to deal with, because we didn't do a good job at teaching you. But we're going to do that. We're going to rectify that. I want to also talk for a moment about resolution. I think resolution should take place, and we're a family. And I know some people don't grasp that, don't understand the concept of that, but we are, starting from the top down. And family has responsibility to each other. We have a responsibility that if we have a personal issue with somebody within our family, it stays within the family. But I want you to know that the moment you have a personal issue and you go on Facebook and you start making comments, they are what I call Facebook interpreters. They can interpret exactly what you're saying. And what it does is that it shows weakness, with not just from you, within the family. It shows weakness in the family. And I'm praying that this year that we all do a much better job at problem management. That we manage our personal issues privately and not publicly. And also we understand that from a standpoint of being business owners, and I'm going to give you a good example. McDonald's is a perfect model to talk about because, before the franchise owners, they have to go to school, to McDonald's University. They go through a lot, but when they complete the process and are awarded a franchise, a unit, a location, look, they understand that they are individuals, but they operate with a code, and they have a system that they use that is universal. I don't care what country you go to in the world, you will see that they use the same system. It is crazy, but we have a tendency to do just the opposite. We all have individual systems. We have this system, that system, that system. I will tell you that by yourself, you can do well, but together we can conquer poverty. We can conquer so many things. We can elevate so many more people. We can do so much more operating together than we can individually. And so I'm hoping for that. So then one more thing I want to say before I pass it over is that as business owners and we are charged to protect our brand, our company brand. We are charged to protect the integrity of TLC. So therefore, we have to be very careful because there are people that are very crafty. You have to be careful with other people in different companies, people that have left our company. No, I'm not telling you what to do because I can't do that. I'm not telling you not to be friends because I will be very honest with you that I have friends that are top producers, that are VPs of other companies that are our competition. They are. And at the end of the day, because of this competition, it's war. And sometimes it's very strategic, it's very cutthroat sometimes. And I understand that. And my understanding of that allows me to maintain some relationships with some of these other people. Because at the end of the day, I'm not gonna get too deep, but it allows me to really maintain these relationships. However, they are private friendships because you will never see me. And if you don't believe me, go to some of these posts, to some of the pages of leaders in this industry. You will never see them liking Kenny Lloyd's page. You will never see people from these leaders liking other people's pages. It's not because they don't like you. Not because they don't respect you. It is because they are protecting the integrity of their company and they're not giving their perception of any weakness because there are people out there, and believe me, perception becomes reality. And there are people out here watching us right now that are going to join us. I'm telling you now, they are making a decision, but because they're scared, and they're scared, they have a right to be scared because they're transitioning, and many of them are the lifeblood of their relationship, of their families. They are the providers. So they're scared, and if they see any weakness that makes them nervous, we can lose them. Because I'm telling you, and we don't want to lose them. There are some people that are supposed to be here. Man, 2017 is going to be an incredible year. We are one of I will say this for real. As I have looked at every other company out here, I would have to say that we are the most solid company in network marketing right now. I guarantee you, when people elect not to join us, it is not because they will say our compensation plan is not solid. It's not because our products are not solid. It's every other thing. They find, well, the leadership looks like this, and I see people all on Facebook. These are the things that they're saying. Okay, this is the only reason they're not joining us, because we are the best thing out here. And simply because the people that you see, they choose not to come, they choose not to come for many different reasons, but it's not because of our compensation plan. It's not because of our products. It's not because of the company that's been around for 17 years. We are the greatest company out here now, and we just have to be the greatest reps. And that's all we have to do is work on ourselves. 2017, the year of growth. I have some people that have joined me, because you got to know that in a part of this growth, this year, we're really, when we start talking about mental growth, we're going to talk about mindset. And I think that there's some things that are very important. So I have a gentleman that I'd like to bring to the forefront. And I got to say that I have watched this guy from afar for a long time. And he'll be honest with you, he's a gentleman that in the beginning, when we first started, didn't believe that we had enough steam to make it happen. And he was critical of us, but it never threw me. I wasn't angry. I didn't get emotional, because everybody has a right to their opinion. And the only thing I focused on was, not putting anybody, making sure everything, showing anybody they were wrong. I focused on doing the best that we could do. And that's what we did. We focused on doing the best we could do. And being the business person that he is, and being the kind of guy that has the character that he has, he came and took a serious look at it. And now he's an integral part of our team. He's a guy who, I'm very proud to say that we were very successful in building the platform high enough to where somebody with his gifts and talents could really see the viability of our company. And since he's been on board, he's hit the rank of national, and he's going to be global very soon. And the good thing about it is that he's earned it. He could have taken shortcuts because he's savvy and he knows how to beat the system, but he understood that there's no longevity in beating systems. Eventually, the system catches up with you. Okay, you can't beat it numerically. You can beat it short term, temporarily, but you can't beat it. And there's no longevity in beating the system. So he's building it right. He's building it solid, and this guy has an incredible amount of wisdom. I would like to invite to the floor right now, National Director, soon to be global, Mr. Jared Wilkins.
Mr. Kenny Lloyd.
Hey man, how you doing, sir?
I'm excellent. Thank you so much. I'm honored to be on here, just to really address the field at large, the company at large. I'm excited. Number one, I want to say kudos and happy New Year to everybody. I know this is a season, the majority of us are very excited about, because people get a chance to do or have a, really have a do-over. And, Mr. Lloyd, that's exactly what my wife and I were looking for when we decided to partner with the company. Yes, after 7 hours of some intense fellowship. But we were serious. We were serious about it. And, she and I, we review our business every 90 days and just take a look at what we're doing. And, exactly what you just said, the conversation we had about being business people and really being savvy. And it's been a process, and we continue to grow. We never say we know it all or have all the answers, but we have been around the profession for a little over 12 years now. Actually, this year will make 13 years. And the first 6 years, we didn't earn a lot of money, but we did learn a lot. And, network marketing, the last 2 years, the last 5 years, even the last 10 years, continues to evolve, and we're attracting different people. When I first got started 12 years ago, you didn't have people like Sir Richard Branson. You didn't have Tony Robbins and so many of these other public figures endorsing the profession as the way for the average individual to build a business. But, now you have all of these things. And of course, with the introduction of social media at a high level, you have people that, by all intents and purposes, even if you look in the music profession or the music and entertainment business, some of the older artists that have been around 20, 30, 40 years that don't produce new albums, or even if they do, you don't really hear about them. They say there's a dichotomy. There's a difference between that old school of building and the new school because of social media. And so, tonight I know we want to talk a little bit about perception. And, I shared with the Nationals when we had the Nationals and Above leadership event. I was fortunate to just have a chance to talk just from a vantage point, because I believe all of us have a vantage point. And the vantage point that I had coming in to look at TLC was a little bit different from what many of you that have been here the last 2 or 3 years had, because you can't see the picture when you're in the frame. And for us, we were looking at TLC like, yeah, we know they're earning money. There's no doubt that people are earning money in TLC. We don't need to post, we don't need to post our back offices. We don't need to do, any of these ancillary things. It's a known fact when you've got people like Greg and Lanika Scott that have purchased homes cash. you know, people know there's money being made. You see Thomas and Dexter Scott. You see all of these ambassadors and many of the globals and the lifestyle that they're living. So it's a known truth that money is being earned in total life changes. When you have a company doing 100 million in sales, people know what's going on. But the perception that I had and so many others have, and I talk with, like you said, I've got, you know, I use the word friends very loosely now, because it's just different. But I have a lot of buddies. That's what I title them. I have a lot of buddies in different companies, and you know, we have these relationships. Some of them are just, you know, cordial relationships. Others a little bit deeper relationships. But you know, what I've noticed with the profession as a whole, as it continues to evolve, I mean, network marketing, I mean, 183 billion in revenues last year. You put that in perspective, you know, you look at the NFL, only 9.5 billion. You know, music and entertainment, 80 billion last year. Network marketing is not in a crisis. It's growing. It grew from the year prior, which was 2014, from 167 billion to 183 billion a year later. And my point in saying that is because I think we use this language often, business people or business person. But when I first got started, I came from a sales background. So we had some communication skills, but I had no idea about what it really meant to be a business person, the responsibilities that you have. We have a responsibility of how we dress. We have a responsibility of how we carry ourselves. You know, I could have put on a nice little Versace t-shirt or something, you know, had on a baseball hat and come on here. You know, I could have done that, but what message does that send? I heard a mentor of mine say many years ago, Mr. Lloyd, he said, you have to dress how you want to be addressed. And I didn't get it back then. You know, when I first got started, and this all has to do with perception, I'm honing in on what I mean by this, because it's never the big things. Everybody thinks it's the big things. It's always the small things. If you take care of the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. It's always the little small things. Jim Rohn says the drama unfolds in the details. But when I first got started, Mr. Lloyd, you wouldn't believe this. I actually had hair. Yeah, I had nice hair. You know, it was curly. You know, I put a little texturizer on it. Don't judge me. But listen, it was nice hair, right? I had this hair, and I had what they call, you know, the women know this. You take the rat tail comb. Come on, don't leave me out, sisters. You take the rat tail comb, and you would have baby hair with it. Yeah, I had baby hair. And so now I'm saying all this. I know, don't worry about it. I'm saying all this for a reason, because now I can laugh about it. You laugh at the truth later on. But now here I am. I'm getting in network marketing. I'm in my early 20s. I'm 20 years old. And I'm excited. I'm pumped up. I've been in sales. I was a manager for a top Fortune 10 company. So I had some communication skills. I had some influence. But now I'm having to lead a volunteer army. There's a difference between management and leadership. Leadership is the ability to influence people without touching them. People got to like you. They've got to trust you, all these types of things. So I don't want to go into that tangent. But here's what happened. I used to, Mr. Lloyd, I used to now have this curly hair that I purchased, but I had this curly hair, and I had hazel contacts on. Yeah, I was real business, right? Now listen, because we laugh at it, and I see people run around now. They've got blonde and purple. You got all, because you want to be an individual. You want to be your own man, and there's nothing wrong with it, but you got to decide. Do I want to be in business, or do I want to be a distraction? And I never forget my mentor. He came to me because I was dressed like this. I used to wear these ascots. Mr. Scott, I used to have these ascots on because I saw, you know, I thought it was cool. Everybody else is wearing ties. I want to be different. I want to be an individual. So I had this ascot on with this hair, and I never forget going to a mentorship session. It was a session that you would qualify for based on production. So we were producing, and I was sit down, and I had to give over my goals, and I had on my goals. Then I said I wanted to earn $50,000 per month. And he says, do you want me to be your friend, or do you want me to be your mentor? And I said, I want you to be my mentor. He says, because, you know, a friend accepts you for how you are. A mentor just doesn't let you stay there. They help you grow past where you are. And so he told me, he says, the way you look is not representative of a business person that's going to develop a $50,000 a month income. He says, you look like you're a model, not like a business person. And guess what? It hurt my feelings. But the reality now that I understand is I would rather hurt a person's feelings than hurt their future. So from that day, this was early 2010, I started to work on how I looked, because I understood that, and we hear this all the time, don't judge a book by its cover. Well, guess what? We get judged every single, and it's not even necessarily judgment, because to judge means to hand down punishment. People aren't handing out punishment. They just say, is this a person? And we all have to understand this. When people look, and this was the perception I had about TLC. When I looked at the company, my thought was, is this the company of people that I can go to war with? Are these the types of people that I could say, yeah, this is where I will get on the planes, I'm going to drive the miles, I'm going to risk my sphere of influence that I've built over years. Are these the people that I can trust? Because if people can't trace you, they won't trust you. So it takes a step further, not just how we dress, how we carry ourselves, whether it's in an in-home meeting, whether it's at a business briefing, whether it's on social media. And I think, social media is one of the greatest mediums to get your message out. It gives us a voice. But social media too, and I don't know how much time I have, Mr. Lloyd, just cut me off when you need me to stop. I'll, turn this thing right on off. But social media to me, for what I've seen in network marketing, it's given a voice to victims. And sometimes we're victims of our own circumstances. And they create this drama calling it, oh, I'm being real, when in fact they're creating reality. And so we start getting into posting, and we start getting ready to share with their, I can't wait to post this. I can't wait I'm gonna go out there and share. And I used to do some of the same immature, non-business things. Because what I've learned is, if you have to tell more than one or two people about a problem, you're not looking for a solution. You're looking for attention. And so as a business person, the perception that I always want to project, because you only attract who you are, not who you pretend to be. And I never, suggest that we're perfect, or any of us have to be perfect to make this business work. The thing I love about TLC is that we embrace all cultures, all ethnicities, all backgrounds, from your PhDs to your GEDs, from your stockbrokers to your stock boys, 18 or 80, Muslims, Christians, Jews, Gentiles, even atheists, and some of us heathens. They're all embraced, right? And you could come into network marketing with a, and develop a skill set and do extremely well. But what I understand as well is that leadership is not necessarily about income. Because just because a person has an income doesn't make them a leader. Because leadership is about influence, not income. And so for me, the perception that I always want to give off, because people meet our representatives before they ever get a chance to meet the real us. And so one mentor told me a long time ago, you can attract more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. And so it's the way we communicate, the way we talk, the way we post, what we post. There's some things, I'll be completely candid. There's some things I realize I shouldn't have posted that. Was it true? Absolutely. What was it real? Yes. Did it come from a real place? Yes. But there's only so much you can communicate. There's only so much you can communicate through a post versus a conversation. And we're living in this postmodern day generation where it's so much easier for people to talk or post about the individuals versus go handle the issues. And so for all of us, 2017, when I hear that word growth, it resonates, and I haven't talked to Mr. Lloyd about this, or Mr. Scott or Mrs. Scott. I haven't really talked to you guys about this word growth, but I never forget 2016, it was a growing year. And one of my good friends, he said, Jared, all growth is uncomfortable. All growth is uncomfortable. And so as we embark upon this year, 2017, look for areas, little small areas that you can grow in. Before you post it, think about it. Is it uplifting? Is it inspiring? And is it attractive? Because a lot of times what we're looking for, what many people are looking for, are likes and comments. But I always tell people 100 likes equals $0. 10,000 likes equals $0. And we got to decide the perception that we have as a collective. You know, when we look at that word ambassador, and I'm about to bring on Executive Ambassador Mr. Greg Scott here. But when I look at that word ambassador, you know, a lot of people, we don't understand that it's just not a title, it's an embodiment. You know, here in America, when we send one of our ambassadors to a country, they can go to Yugoslavia, they can go to Nigeria, they can go anywhere. They can be in the poorest country in the world, but because they are an ambassador from the United States, they must be treated in that country like they are in the United States. In other words, what they ate here, they eat there. What's available here is available there. The protection that's available here is available there. All of those things, because when you are an ambassador, you, ladies and gentlemen, are an embodiment. You are the country. You are the company at large. And so you have to act like an ambassador. I've got to do a better job of acting as an ambassador, not faking it as an ambassador, not posing as an ambassador, but developing and growing into becoming that ambassador. And it starts with the perception. Remember this, you are always received how you're perceived. People receive you based on how they perceive you. And there's so many of us, I'm telling you right now, we're having some of the biggest months of growth in my entire career that I've ever had. December in most companies, we're having some of the biggest months because I've learned and continue to learn how to discipline the perception people have about my wife and I. Not to be perfect, but to be people of principles, because it's a new year, but you're going to have to practice the same old principles. So with that, I thank you so much, Mr. Lloyd, for bringing me on and allowing me to share and just really kind of give a little bit of those thoughts in terms of just perception, because perception is reality. Now, perception is not always truth, but it is reality. And so we must always keep into account and call ourselves into account. And sometimes you see that person that you have a relationship with that's on your team, and you see something that they said, something that they've done. You call that, you always correct privately, because you cannot correct what you fail to confront. And we as leaders, we have to learn. We just can't turn an idle eye to these things, because it hurts the entire company. It hurts and it damages what it is that we're building, because what we have our hands on, these products, I've never seen this type of response from health and wellness products. By the way, out of the 183 billion in revenue that was generated, 67% of that revenue came from health and wellness products and personal care products. So we're not only in the right profession, which is network marketing, but we're positioned in the right industries. You don't have to look there and look here. It's right here in this company. Compensation plan, we need not say more. You show me another company, whereas a customer goes to your website and spends $44.95 and you make $20. Show me the company, I'm right behind you. Well, I'm not behind you, but I'm just saying, just show it to me, okay? But it doesn't exist. I'm telling you, nothing to this degree and to that is this substantive. And we've got phenomenal leaders. And I know we talk about this word, but man, we've got phenomenal business people, savvy people that are leading this company. And I can say nothing more about Executive Ambassador Mr. Greg and Lanika Scott. I've watched them from afar. I've really seen the type of culture and the camaraderie that they've brought to Total Life Changes. I've seen some of the success stories. You know, you judge a tree by the fruit it bears, not by the fruit it talks about one day bearing, right? But I've seen the fruit that they've bared. I've seen what they've been able to do, what he's been able to do for his family, and as a man to be able to provide and protect. I don't know how he does it with all those girls. Brother, hey, yeah, he might have had that S curl back in the day. But anyway, but this gentleman is phenomenal, man. And I don't say that I'm not giving vain words. He is absolutely incredible. It's really, when I look at what he and his wife represent for this company, they are really the embodiment of what true business professionals are in network marketing. And so with that, it does me great pleasure to bring on Mr. Greg Scott. Are you there, sir?
Absolutely. Mr. Wilkins, can you hear me loud and clear? All right, great, great, great. So listen, guys, National Director Jared Wilkins, I always love to hear him speak and, to find out how much younger he is than I am and, and his level of knowledge about this industry and just in life in general. I'm going to be very brief, guys, but just want to tell you my start in this industry, was unlike some of the other people you've already heard. My start was I didn't believe in it, didn't want to have no parts of it. My belief came through my wife's belief. My belief came through her out here operating and building a business, because the truth be known, when she showed me the dollar figures, that's what got me started, right? But when I got into the industry, me being my background and who I am, the first thing I did was become a student of this industry and understand the business aspect of this, understand the number aspect of it, understand how to go out and methodically build the business, systematically put the pieces together to make it work. That's what I did, and that's the role that I play every day. So, in coming into this business, guys, I understood that even with Total Life Changes, over the last 3 years, we've had some explosive growth. We had some exciting growth, but I understood that it was just that. It was a lot of excitement growth. And then in the year 2016, we went through what we always like to call that pruning process. But just like Mr. Wilkins talked about, growth is painful. That pruning process is part of growth, but it has to take place. And then in learning more about this industry, to find out not only with Total Life Changes, but with all companies across the board that hit the $500 million status, the $1 billion status, the multiple $1 billion status, they all went through this process in their business at the same phase of their business of growth where we are right now. So even where I stand, guys, I look out at 2017 and I understand and I can see where we're going. And I often say this to a lot of people, especially in the last 3-4 months. I wish I could take what I see and impress it upon you so you can really understand where I'm standing at and what I see coming. Because what's coming, everybody who really hold on and everybody who really put their hand to the plow and do the activity, it's going to be a life-changing. It's going to be very life-changing, guys. So listen, 2017, this is going to be a great year for a lot of people. First stop right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, the Unified Tour. We're very excited about it, guys. So listen, I need to see your face in a place. We're going to be right here in North Carolina. All the surrounding states come, but it's very important and it's very significant that it's starting here, because this will be the place. This will be the start of that systematic growth that you just heard me talking about. This will be the start of that unified approach. Again, guys, remember I said we went through excitement growth. Now it's time for the real growth to take place. See, in understanding business, you have that excitement growth, but now it's time for the real growth. Now we're really getting ready to put the pedal to the metal. So listen, get your ticket. You need to be in the place, guys. Come to this event because it's going to be life-changing. And what happens at this event will be basically what you're going to see in all of the events, a common system, bringing people into that one mindset. And there's nothing greater than a group of people moving in the same direction, guys. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and get out of the way, because I'm going to bring up the last speaker. And she is my sister-in-law, married to my brother. I always give her a hard time. Sometimes it's just out of being part of the family, but a lot of times it's all about helping her to come to her level of growth and understand who she really is, guys. So she's powerful in the kingdom. She's powerful in this business. She's an ambassador with Total Life Changes. I bring to you Miss Tanya Joyner Scott. Tanya, come on up.
Is that why I get a hard time from you?
You got that right.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You are my family member, my brother-in-law, but I tell you, you and Lanika truly are mentors to me and to your brother Dexter. So just thank you so much for everything that you do. Hello, everyone. I'm excited about being here with you on tonight. And you always know when I get a chance to come before anyone, I always consider it as an honor. And to be here with you right now and just to have the opportunity to share with you things that's on my heart. I tell you, sometimes I don't always know what's going to come out. I don't always know exactly what I'm going to say. I just know that I get filled. And when I get filled, there's always a chance and a time to release. And as I sat here and I listened to our Vice President of North American Sales, Mr. Kenny Lloyd, listening to Jared, listening to Greg, so much of what they said was just already in me. And you know me, I'm like, Lord, that's just like you. So even to listen to Kenny talk about who he talked to recently, and he says, I can't put into word what makes total life changes so different. It's spirit, it's spirit, it's spirit. It's like, how do I describe it? It's spirit. And I was just sitting here smiling and like, you know what? It's hard to put into words who we are. It's just who we are. When I first had the opportunity to even see Jared and to see what happened in that event, it was the same thing. What do people say? I'm quoted a lot of times for saying it's different here, and it is different. We are a direct sales company. This is network marketing, but the way we do things, how we go about business, how we think about the other person, the fact that we do see ourselves as a family, the fact that we do come together unified, the fact that we have a CEO and the rest of the corporate staff that actually mingle with us, that are concerned about us, that look into what we're doing, is what makes us different. We had our Christmas party here a few weeks ago, a few weeks just before Christmas. And some of our new business partners, they joined us at that party. And afterwards, he contacted us and he said, he's been in the industry already. He's done things in the past. And he said, and as I stood in that room and I looked around and I said, it really is different here. And he even couldn't put everything into words. And I'm telling you, it's what makes us so special. To Jared's point, yes, our products, y'all, they are amazing. The fact that we are part of the health and wellness what's the word, Lord? The industry. Thank you, babe. I know that, right? But we're part of the health and wellness industry, which is the largest part of even the industry of network marketing. And this is what we have. And this is what I say to people. I don't have to concoct anything. I share the testimonies. We were just in an event and I have a lady standing in front of me who lost 81 pounds. Why? From detoxing her system. And I tell people that as I sat there with them, and I'm saying this to you, do you know what you have? And I said, this is your product. This is what your product helps someone do. This is what your product was able to help someone come out of. Not mine, not theirs, but yours, ours together. What are we going to be doing here on January 14th? If you can get here, you're in the surrounding area, if you can fly in, I need you to be here because we're putting things in place and in order. And I'm telling you, the year of growth, yes. I've been saying the year of increase, same thing. How can something get bigger, but yet it is growth? Growth and increase, it's the same thing. So let me say this to you. We pay attention. Our corporate staff, our executive team, the leadership that's here, we pay attention. And what we're going to provide to you on that day is going to be amazing. And you've already been on this Hangout listening to Jared. He's going to be one of our trainers at that event. Dr. Kimberly Edwards, Global Director, the Retail Queen. Now, she got that name not just because we thought it was cute, but it's because of what she brings to the table. You're about to embark upon hearing from her even. You're going to hear some things that's going to absolutely blow your mind. It's going to help you to be stable. It's going to help you to function. When we talk about Antonina Griffin, National Director, do you know what's going to happen for you to understand the reason why you're here and just getting that thing going, getting it started, overcoming obstacles and getting out of your own way? These are the types of things that you're going to get. Why do we do that? Because we're listening, because we pay attention, and we learn from our mistakes. We learn from our failures. We learn from our successes. We learn from our achievements. All of those things have been factored into what's happening now at the top of the year, January 2017. We have to come together to do what? We have to get things right. We have to make the cricket way straight. We have to do those types of things. And that's what we're going to be doing here in January, in February, in March, in April, and in May. All of those months, we're bringing to you those types of trainings and the opportunity for you to just know how to do it and what to do. And let me just close by saying this. If you didn't know it, I want you to really understand something. You matter. You matter. You matter to Each and every one of us. You matter to our CEO, Jack Fallon. You matter to our COO, John Licari. You matter to that team. You matter to our executive team, to our VP of North American Sales. You matter. And that's why we do the things that we do. And that's why we do it the way that we do. And I'm going to give it back to Kenny, but I have to say this because over the last few months, when Kenny would come on here to talk to us on these hangouts and do the calls, the one thing that has just stood out to me so much is him saying, and again, this is what I mean when I say we listen, and that's why we're able to restructure things. And you have to understand this as the business mind, as the business owner that he talked to us about being on tonight. He's saying to us, and this is what a business person's what a business person will do. As business people, we make mistakes and we learn from them. We adjust, we change, we keep it going. That's what a business person does. If something's not going right, if things don't always turn out the way you want, if you hit enter and it doesn't seem to load, I don't know what it is. Understand this. That's how you get better. This is the year of growth. The only way that you can grow is if there's something that needs to be grown. What needs to grow here? We identified that. So as I said, as I listened to him over the last few months and I hear him, he says, I'm reflecting, I'm thinking, I'm going back and I'm identifying those areas in which I need to improve, in which we need to improve as a company, but me also as a person. Only as it is at the top with leadership, the same thing is going to happen for the rest of us. See, Dexter and I, we've been doing the same thing. How can we improve? What do we need to do better? Where have I made mistakes? How can I get this right this time? And as a result, we bring into you the TLC Unified Tour. And I want you to know something. It's going to be one of the best things that you have ever experienced since you've been here in Total Life Changes. And to all of you who are brand spanking new, guess what? You just got blessed. Why? You might not have been there when we were trying to get things right, but you're here now as we've gotten it right. And I'm excited about that. So thanks so much for your time. Thanks so much for allowing me to be here with you on tonight, Kenny. And I turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Tanya. And I didn't get a chance to bring you on and really edify you, but you and Dexter, we heard from you, but we know that you and Dexter are partners, man. And you all are really like the spirit of this company, man. What you all bring, you know, how you all lead and how you've built your business, man. I'm so proud to have you all as business partners, and it gives me great joy to fight alongside with you all, okay? And I look forward to seeing you all in Raleigh. Guys, we're gonna wrap this up, but before we wrap it up, I want you to understand what time it is. And when I say what time it is that time of the year that people make resolutions. And we know the biggest resolution they make is that they're going to go into the gym and they're going to work out this year. But we all know that after 2 weeks in the gym, that they're going to say, the heck with this. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm looking for a shortcut. And you know what the shortcut is? I want everybody to put their eyes on this right now because I'm going to show you the shortcut. Here is the shortcut right here. This is the shortcut. All right. So if I were you all, I would be strategically watching all my friends that you heard say, I'm going to work out this year. I'm going to look at Jared looking at me like, you know, the thing I love about Jared called me up talking about, Mr. Lloyd, I need you to take all the liquor out your house, all the donuts, all the brownies, okay, out your house, because y'all watch me, because this is a new year and it's going to be a new me. And why is it going to be a new me? It's a new me because I'm on the T. And I'm going to strongly, again, one more time, if you want to know, in every business, everything is about moments. This is a moment for you to capture, because believe me, in 1 week, the people are going to stay the heck with the gym and they're going to start looking for a shortcut to get in shape, because a lot of people start taking vacations off season around this time of the year. They're going to be looking for a shortcut. This is the shortcut. IASO-T. So, and I'm telling you, it's an ideal time. Now, what I would do if I were you all, I would start planting seeds right now. I would start planting seeds. I would start sowing seeds, because that's what we did when we built our business. We sowed seeds. And what we did is that we allowed a certain amount of tea to sample the people. Okay, to sample the people, the right people. If I were you, I would not sample to a lot of men. I would sample to a lot of women and let them try the product. Say I'm gonna take 10 20 packs of tea. Operate on faith. Don't be scared. What's that old saying? Scared money doesn't make money. Don't be afraid. Just try it. Sow a seed into the right people and watch what happens to your business, okay? Listen, guys, it's a brand new year. I hope that you have a brand new mindset. You know, don't bring the old into the new. And I appreciate you all so much for getting on here. Get ready, because there's going to be another State of TLC with Jack Fallon next week. They're in the home office right now, putting the final touches on our brand new back office. That's going to be coming soon. John LeCar's been in Dallas. They're putting the final touches on our brand new back office. Guys, we have some new products that are going to be the first unveil is going to be in Raleigh. There's going to be a brand new product in every city every month unveiled. And I got to tell you that they're going to get better and better and better. Man, this is a tremendous, tremendous time for us. So hang in there, be diligent, pay your dues, because you got to pay dues. Pay your dues. Don't be so emotional. You know, if you have a problem with somebody and you can't get along with your upline, seek counsel 4 levels up. Don't seek anything down. You know, and here's another tip I give you in closing, that when you look up and look at the problems up, that becomes your problem, because you don't make money from anybody above you. You only make people from below you. And that's where your primary focus is going to be. And be the change that you seek. Be the leader that you want. Become the example. Every year, we have a new group of leadership that we put up and put out. And you're going to start seeing them. So, guys, know this, that Shantae and I love you, and we appreciate you. And I'm so proud of you all. I'm so proud that we withstood a master distributor leaving and starting a company. We withstood other people, leadership leaving. We not only survived, but again, we thrived. And it's showing you that there's a purpose. We have a purpose. And man, we have never collapsed. We're going to be undefeated, unbeatable. 2017, the year, what did I say? It's the year of what? Growth. Kenny Lloyd signing out. Thank you all very much. Love you.